So, the guest we have today is Raj, who is a host on the Bharatiya Janata podcast, which has some satirical takes on politics, Indian politics especially. But it's also very insightful at the same time. So, if you're interested, do check it out. There's a link in the description. It's called the Bharatiya Janata podcast.
Hello everyone, मेरा नाम हार्दिक and this is the sixth episode. Oh sorry, is this the sixth or the seventh episode?
ऐसा ही होता है, ऐसा ही हो जाता है। पर ये चीज़ें एडिट मत करना। ये चीज़ें नेचुरल फील आती हैं एपिसोड में।
Right, yeah. I don't know whatever episode. This is the latest episode. That's what matters. And today we have a guest with us. I'll let him introduce himself. I'll just let you know that the way I was introduced to him was the man whose name is RSS.
Yeah, my name is RSS, and the story is basically that my father, as you know, is really involved with RSS, and he when I was born, the first child, and because the last name starts from S, he had this great opportunity to name his son something that was RSS, and he did that, and I have regretted it since. So, so that is me. Like every contradiction that you can imagine, because the name नाम RSS है, काम बिल्कुल भी सब लाल सलाम वाले काम है।
लेकिन you did have some things to do with RSS for a while.
हाँ, आई मीन बचपन की बुरी संगत गलती। बेसिकली growing up, that is the only thing that I knew, right? Because so when I say that my family has been involved with the RSS, people, because if you talk to any like basic upper caste Hindu family, many of them in some ways are involved at RSS. So they usually don't understand the kind of depth that I'm talking about. It is like
Yeah.
it is काफी काफी ज्यादा इन्वॉल्वमेंट है. Like my dad is still like one of a state level officials there. So growing up, I had these people coming in and out of my home all the time. My dad was emergency 1975 के emergency के time he was in prison for 2 years. So it was kind of pretty serious. So for the longest time, that is the only thing that I knew. And as it happens, right, when you're growing up, the things that your parents do and like are the things that you do and like. Most of those things you still always like, but for some things you outgrow, and that I outgrew it at some point. But in general, a lot of the childhood was about RSS.
Going from your family being involved with RSS and your father naming you a certain way because of that, I wouldn't say that you outgrew it. It was more like a breakthrough.
हाँ, मतलब it's I kind of think of it almost like a cult, in the sense, जैसे cult में training होती है, right? And you eventually your world view is formed by what the cult looks, the way cult looks at things, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if you kind of get out of it, it is a huge breakthrough, and it is a huge part of what your identity becomes after that, right? तो कई
Yeah,
बार
yeah.
लोग मेरे normal interactions में there it has been the case where people have said चलता है, and like taken things lightly, but it's difficult for me to take it lightly simply because there's a lot of emotions involved with this.
Yeah, yeah. Especially because knowing how your father was treated because of his association with that organization, so you might have been sympathetic towards him, obviously,
Yeah,
and by extension, sympathetic towards the
yeah,
organization. And you might have also assumed an antagonistic role as an opponent towards the establishment at the time, which was Congress.
which carried on even after that. So in the sense, when I realized, or when I kind of came to the conclusion that I don't like the Sanghi idea of the world anymore. It wasn't like I became a Congressy or something. When this happened, this is around 2008 9, that period, and that Congress was in power then, UPA was in power then, and I initially, a lot of the things that really kind of were I had an emotional reaction to were because Congress was doing. So one of the things that comes to my mind is Green Hunt. I don't know how much you or your listeners have heard or read about Green Hunt,
No,
but
I haven't heard about it at all.
so basically during 2008 9 10, that period, in the Manmohan Singh government, Chidambaram was the home minister. P Chidambaram was the home minister, and the government had said that the greatest threat that India faces is the Maoist threat in central India, right, in Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, and
Ah,
all those places. So to counter that
right.
threat, they had started this thing called Operation Green Hunt. Operation Green Hunt was basically where CRPF and other armed forces groups would go into these jungles and basically violently try and take out these insurgent groups. And
Right, right.
back then, I read a lot about these, and I had developed certain different sympathies, if you will. तो आई वॉज वेरी, वही, अभी जब कई बार लोग मुझे बोलते हैं ना, कई बार इन द सेंस, अब तो बहुत टाइम हो गया, बट इवन इन लाइक 2014 15 when I was very vocally against the Modi government, people called me Congressy and whatnot, and I was like, go back to my social media profiles and see what I was saying in 2010 11. I mean, it's funny that but I understand that often when you grow up in a conservative environment, right, you have a very single view of the world. Like there are no nuances.
Yeah,
Good, bad,
yeah,
में ही
yeah,
सारे, या तो you're good or you're bad. उसके beyond दुनिया होती
yeah.
नहीं. So yeah, it's so the thing is that I'm like, I'm in my 30s now, right? So I remember 2006 when I was in my engineering college. I was having these debates with my friends from engineering college about how Modi, like in 2006, Modi was one of those people who I saw as my youth icons, because he was
Oh,
avenging the 1000 years of humiliation that the Hindus have faced to the Muslims. So that is where I come from.
so, what was the first time you were introduced to RSS officially or formally? When was the first time you were approached by RSS as
There
a
was no
child?
approach or anything, right? I was born in that.
You were born into it, but then what was your first formal activity that you did with RSS?
So when I was 3 years old, 3 4 years old, this is 1990 91. This is when the Mandir movement is going full speed, right? So I'm sure when you were kid, when guests would come to your place, your parents would be like, "Beta, uncle को poem बोल के सुनाओ," right?
Right.
So in my case, it was like, "बेटा uncle को वो slogan सुनाओ," तो I would like as a 3-year-old, I would be like, "बच्चा बच्चा राम का जन्मभूमि के काम का." Yeah, रामलला हम आएंगे मंदिर में बनाएंगे, something like that. Now, one of those things. So it,
मतलब रेडिकलाइजेशन,
हाँ मतलब
ब्रेन
कुछ
वॉशिंग
इस
वो उसी
जैसा
एज
कुछ
से
नहीं
स्टार्ट
था।
हो चुका है।
नहीं, सॉरी, क्या बोला आपने?
मतलब ब्रेन वॉशिंग तभी से उस एज से स्टार्ट हो चुका था मतलब।
वही नॉर्मल होता है। अगर कोई, इन द सेंस वैसा है ना कि इफ यू आर ओनली शोन द वर्ल्ड अ सर्टेन वे, दैट इज योर नॉर्मल वर्ल्ड, राइट? सो दैट वाज नॉर्मल फॉर मी। लाइक for the first time in my life, I met someone who does not support BJP was after turning 18. Before
वाह,
18, I had never met anyone in my life who was not either from RSS or supported BJP.
मतलब it's a very tight knit, it's a cult basically, so there's no room for any conflicting ideas, and there's no room for people with any conflicting ideas.
Huh? I mean, cult is the example that comes to my mind all the time.
Yeah. तो ऐसे echo chamber में you might have encountered someone before during these 18 years who did not think like you, and what did you think about them? How did you judge them?
Did I did know some people who did not think like me, but I always attributed it to selfish motives, I guess. So, for example, where I used to live, where my family used to live, there was another family um, who, and I don't even know why I knew this, but we were told they are Congressy sympathizers, Congressy supporters or something. And I just, I mean, I knew them, and I had like very brief kind of interactions with them, but in my head it was all like कि उनका कोई अपना मोटिव होगा, क्योंकि अगर आप सच में इंडिया को प्यार करते हो तो फिर तो कोई ऑप्शन ही नहीं है आपके पास अपार्ट फ्रॉम लाइक
ऑप्शन ही नहीं है,
बीइंग
राइट?
विद बीजेपी और आरएसएस.
इट्स वेरी हार्ड टू थिंक अबाउट.
हाँ मतलब अ, वही कह रहा हूँ ना कि हाउ विल यू रिएक्ट इफ यू, आई डोंट नो, इफ यू गो टू सम प्लेस न्यू एंड यू सडनली स्टार्ट मीटिंग people with three hands. That's not normal for you, and you'll be like कि क्या हो रहा है, like it'll change a lot of the things, right? The way you see the world.
राइट, या.
So that is what happened. I made my first Muslim friends only after I had entered engineering. उससे पहले मेरा कोई मुस्लिम दोस्त नहीं था. मैं जिस स्कूल में पढ़ा था वो स्कूल भी like it was like a Hindu, जैसे कहेंगे ना, like it was not शिशु मंदिर, but it was a very Hindufied way of education.
A lot of schools are Hindufied right now, even if they're not run by Hindus.
अब नहीं, मतलब
My
मेरे
school,
स्कूल
for
में
example.
before every day began, we would sit and do transcendental meditation for 20 minutes.
Oh man. Oh, this was what they were trying to make us do as we were leaving school. This was slowly catching on. We let's have some meditation or something like that. When I was in ninth or 10th grade, and this was part of your routine.
हाँ, आई मीन देखो, अगर आप खुद से कुछ कर रहे हो या इवन इवन कोई वेल विशर सजेस्ट कुछ करता है तो इट इज फाइन, बट द इंडोक्ट्रिनेशन इज वेयर एवरीवन इज डूइंग
Yeah,
समथिंग एंड
the forcefulness of it is what, yeah, it bothers me too. Yeah.
एंड दिस मेक्स मी आस्क अ लॉट. लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल, जब हम स्कूल में होते हैं, हम स्कूल में प्रेयर्स क्यों करते हैं सुबह? व्हाई इज दैट इम्पोर्टेंट?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I'm asking. I mean, I don't really know. I'm just like,
No, yeah, I don't
it's
know either, but
mental asking.
it's something to think about. It's something to think about. Yeah.
I think it is.
In the school that I went to, ऐसे कुछ प्रार्थना ये नहीं था, मतलब पूजा वगैरह ऐसा नहीं था. It was a prayer, and I don't remember the prayer correctly, but it wasn't a Hindu prayer.
अरे
It was in English, and
fine.
it was.
But
Yeah, but still, there was still a prayer. और वहाँ पे the when we entered school, वहाँ पे as soon as we entered, there was a space like a small atrium kind of a thing where there was a murti of Ganpati.
नहीं but
Or it used to be there used to be ex principals bust over there, or sometimes there used to be if it was Ganpati there would be Ganpati, if it was something else it would be some other way.
इंडिया में कुछ भी हो स्कूल्स में एक चीज तो होगी, वो है नेशनल एंथम, और दूसरी चीज होगी प्लेज. आई डोंट नो प्लेज इंडिया इज माई
Ah,
कंट्री, ऑल इंडियंस आर माई.
yeah,
ये सब
yeah.
इंडोक्ट्रिनेशन है, राइट? मतलब क्या, क्यों जरूरी है ये?
I'm okay with the national anthem, not the way it is enforced, but I'm okay with the national anthem. I don't think it
आई
is.
मीन मैं ये नहीं कह रहा हूँ कि आई एम नॉट ओके विद एनी ऑफ इट.
No, yeah,
आई एम
yeah, but
जस्ट,
yeah, the forcefulness of it, yes, that's a problem.
in fact I don't know, like what is the reason to do it.
Right. And it also takes some value away from it because you do it day in and day out, every single day. It becomes a part of your routine. It loses that value which it's supposed to have.
In the end, having a national anthem and having a prayer, it's all basically to kind of subconsciously tell you that this idea of India, most of us come from families that are religious, right? So it is subconsciously to tell us that this idea of India is as important as idea of your, like, whatever gods and everything. And then what happens is, the moment we start asking questions about कि ये क्यों नहीं सही है और वो क्यों नहीं सही है, then the answers like सियाचिन में हमारे जवान लड़ रहे हैं make sense to us, because we know that they are trying, in our head they are trying to protect something that is almost godly like, right? So so
Yeah.
even though it's very innocent to have national anthems in schools, I personally feel that it is all like to make us like part of the well-oiled machine. And I know कि मतलब एकदम से it sounds a lot like very conspiratorial, but there is no
No.
other.
I think in similar lines. Yes. The thing is, you spoke about the idea of India, और ये हम लोग स्कूल में बोलते हैं कि all Indians are my brothers and sisters, and we are taught कि इंडिया का हिस्ट्री क्या है, इंडिया को कब डिफाइन, what was independent India, and what runs India as a society, is our constitution, और वो ये सब हो गया. But then you say India is my country and all Indians are my brothers and sisters, but और ये जो definitions हमको मिलते हैं ना इंडिया के, a lot of people are not part of that definition. So
In the this the in the ideal system, we are made to feel that they are part of the system, but in terms of the way, like, for example, I don't know. Again, going back to the school prayer thing, right? Like I for up until class fifth, actually, I was in central school, army school. Jabalpur, where I was born, is a big was schooled is a big cantonment area. So there are army schools there, many army schools actually. So in army schools, in the prayer thing, there are prayers like "Itni Shakti Hame Dena Data." All of it. Now the thing is, all of these prayers are slightly tangentially around like the Hindu system of praying.
let's call them Brahminical. I think that would be the right
Yeah.
word.
And so then what happens to the people who, there's an interesting story that comes to my mind. So one of my close friends eventually, after engineering and all, is a Muslim guy, right? His sister joined a journalism school, and she was, like, very active in the co-curricular scene and all of that. So in India you have events, so like you have Saraswati Puja, I think, or Teachers Day. Sorry, Teachers Day or
Yeah,
something. But that day started with doing a Saraswati Puja.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And the sister was the anchor of that whole जो होता है ना annual fest या जो भी बोलो आप, right? So when she was told कैसा हो तो उसने refuse कर दिया, बोलती नहीं, this is not something that I can do because this is not, I mean, I just cannot do this because I don't agree with this, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that became a huge controversy. And when I look at it now, I was like कि क्या ये सब उल्टा हो जाता, जहाँ पे आपको ऐसा कुछ इस्लामिक करने को बोलता, आप कर लेते क्या? ये अभी कर लेते क्या? अभी इज नॉट इवन अ क्वेश्चन किस किस कौन सा स्कूल है।
ये
हाँ,
सिर्फ ये हिंदू मुस्लिम बाइनरी का ही नहीं है.
हाँ।
आई मी बीइंग एन एथिस्ट आई माइट आल्सो डिसएग्री विद दैट.
वो तो और भी नहीं है, लाइक आप तो समझा, अगर जैसे मैं अगर गया कहीं पे और किसी ने मुझसे बोला प्रेयर हो रही है, आप प्रेयर बैठ रहे हो, मैंने बोला कि नहीं, मैं एथियस्ट हूँ, मैं प्रेयर में नहीं बैठता। आई डोंट थिंक a lot of the people around us even have the frequency to understand कि भाई क्या बोल रहे हो आप, what atheist क्या होता है। It's almost like that RSS example, right, where you've never even
Does not compute.
हाँ, exactly, you've never even kind of thought of the possibility कि भाई God shot is like ऐसे ही doesn't mean anything.
Right.
So it's I mean it's good. When I was in India, when I lived in India, I I had never had personally, and I mean, even I'm telling you, like, I had left Sangh, in the sense I had stopped associating with the Sanghi idea. I was very liberal, everything. And even then, I had never thought about this fundamental question of the existence of God. It was only after I moved to the States that the first time I kind of even thought about this, कि भाई ऐसा भी कुछ हो सकता है। And this is like when I was like 24, 25. So imagine like कितना, like इंडिया में तो मैंने कभी सोचा भी नहीं है सब, क्योंकि सोचने की जरूरत भी नहीं पड़ी कभी, क्योंकि everything was optimized to my life, right? As a upper caste Hindu, everything
Yeah.
is optimized to the way you live, to the way the things that you consider normal. So
I was introduced to the idea of atheism quite early in life. The first thing I remember was a radio show. It wasn't explicitly atheism, but it was a little. The story was about a little girl questioning. It's a very simple story. It's extremely obvious nowadays. But there was a story where this little girl is being taught about the Ganpati and the Ganesh Chaturthi festival by her mother, and this girl is mischievous, and her character is mischievous, and she doesn't listen to people, and she says what she wants to say and things like that. And the question she asks to her mother is, how does an elephant's head fit on a child's body? So that is my first memory of. It's
यार,
ridiculous to
this
think
is so
about even
fascinating,
today.
लेकिन I just have to say, because तुमने भी ये देखा, मैंने भी ये देखा बचपन से, राइट? और मोदी जी ने भी ये देखा। हमने किसी ने, एटलीस्ट मैंने और मोदी जी ने तो क्वेश्चन नहीं किया इमीडिएटली। ये क्वेश्चन मतलब मेरे लिए तो एथिज्म का आइडिया, बिकॉज यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट दिस, द आइडिया दैट गॉड डज नॉट एग्जिस्ट केम टू माई माइंड, नॉट इवन केम टू माई माइंड, तो बहुत बड़ी बात हो जाएगी, रैंडमली आई वॉज डूइंग सम, लाइक मास्टर्स में आ गया हूँ मैं, सो मैं इतना बड़ा हो गया हूँ, मास्टर्स में आ गया हूँ। आई वॉज डूइंग सम रैंडम क्लास वर्क एंड आई स्टम्बल्ड अपॉन something by Dawkins, Richard Dawkins.
Right.
And then I read कि भाई ये है कौन बंदा, मतलब मैंने डॉकिंस के बारे में पहले भी पढ़ा था यार, पर इंडिया में, बट कौन है ये पढ़ा था, एंड आई नेवर गेव दिस आइडिया मच थॉट, ठीक है। बट फिर आई स्टार्टेड रीडिंग अबाउट डॉकिंस, एंड देन आई रेड अबाउट so this is the thing. I mean, sorry, मैं थोड़ा सा digress कर रहा हूँ, but this is the thing कि even in school, right, we read about evolution. I had read about Carl Sagan, as in I had read Carl Sagan, and I had understood all of this in certain ways, but even then I had not कंप्यूटेड कि भाई ये सब मिलके क्या बता रहा है मुझे कि गॉड एग्जिस्ट नहीं करते हैं, right? It was only like when I read Dawkins explicitly, then a bulb went on ki, oh fuck, maybe there is nobody. Oh my god.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean uske baad it was a whole journey. And the funniest thing is, funniest या ironical या जो भी बोलो, ये सारी चीजें realization हो रही है, right? Not a संघी anymore, liberal, atheist. The last barrier that breaks, and I guess it is the same for everyone, is caste. Caste,
Yeah.
even after
That's a
that,
rabbit
like
hole.
कि कास्ट जैसा कुछ होता है, या कास्ट नहीं, कास्ट जैसा कुछ होता है बोलना तो बहुत ही लाइक बैड, इट साउंड्स वेरी बैड, मतलब कि कास्ट हैज अ real like bearing on everyone, even the upper caste, because ऐसे जैसा um, you know it's it was it was very late that I came like it was almost like my mid 20s when I kind of had that realization. So
I think that's where I am right now. I'm 24 about now, and now this
26.
is when I've really started understanding what caste is, to what extent it exists, and the like I said, it's a rabbit hole, and I'm still
It's
falling.
so for that what happened is and this might sound silly, but on YouTube there's a documentary called India Untouched. I don't know if you've seen it,
Yeah.
but that was like the first. So रैंडम 26 का हो गया हूँ मैं, रैंडम यूट्यूब सजेशन में इंडियन टच का फर्स्ट 10 minutes. अच्छा, आई नीड टू क्लैरिफाई समथिंग बिफोर दैट. इट इज नॉट लाइक आई वॉज लाइक कि यू नो वो मैं बेवकूफ नहीं था, ये नहीं था जैसे वो कुछ लोग होते हैं कि प्राउड टू बी समथिंग, ऐसा कुछ नहीं था. जस्ट द रियल डेप्थ ऑफ द इशू वॉज नॉट क्लियर टू मी. And then it was, and it is simply because of the lived experience, right? When you if you grow up upper caste in India, your socio-economic circle is such that most of your friends are upper caste, most of the
Yeah.
people that you interact on a daily basis on equal footing are upper caste. Up
Yeah.
You meet lower caste people, you meet Muslims. It's not like I had never met a Muslim before 18, but all of those Muslims were like mechanics or some people. So I never met any Muslim or any person from the traditionally oppressed caste on an equal footing. It happened much later, and when it happened,
Yeah.
it hits you.
It's like you're introduced to a whole different side of history. I don't want to say different history. It's still a part of our history, but
A different kind of reality.
and by history I don't mean the last 1,000, 2,000 years. I mean history like what I was going through as an upper caste man 10 years ago, and what an oppressed caste woman was going through at the same time. This dissonance that exists, this disconnect that we might see them, we might talk to them, but then how caste has had such an impact on their life. It has had an impact on our lives as well, but since we can afford to ignore it, we ignore it, and we are taught to ignore it.
That's why I like to frame it a little differently. I like to frame, so usually the terms used are privileged, like your privilege ऐसा बोलते हैं, right? I'd like to frame it as disadvantage versus normal. So what you and I live in India is normal. That is the normal life that an Indian should and could aspire for. But then there are groups that don't live that life. They have a disadvantage when it comes to aspiring for the same things. So I think that at least helps me frame it better, because now I don't have to explicitly, अगर मैं किसी अपर कास्ट से बात करूं तो explicitly मुझे उसको ये नहीं बताना पड़ेगा कि देख तेरे को ये एक्स्ट्रा मिला, ये एक्स्ट्रा मिला, because that's not what it is about. I don't need to show you what you're getting. What you are, your life is good. Keep at it, very good. But the thing is that others are not able to have that life or have uh, those aspirations, and that is something that
Yeah.
needs to be thought about.
And also the way caste is introduced to us, especially since after independence, because of reservation, the upper caste youth is mostly so the first way I was introduced to caste was through intercaste marriages. There was some conversations about intercaste marriages in my family and in my where my mother and my father come from. So that was one thing that this was one way how I was introduced to caste. But I was a kid then, so I didn't really pay too much attention to it. I just thought this is how things happen. And then the first time that I was really introduced to caste in a way as a problem essentially was through reservation. And before that, I had we hear words like truth and untouchability, and these things existed and these things happened and all. And when you it's always presented to you as something that's coming from the past. वो करेंसी उसमें नहीं दिखाते when you're told about it. It's
क्योंकि
always something that happened in the past and it's being solved now, or it's being solved, and it's a function of time. वो अपने आप ठीक हो जाएगा, जो थोड़ा बहुत बचा है वो ठीक अपने आप ठीक हो जाएगा.
क्योंकि वो हमारे लिए इनविजिबल है ना, ये बात है.
हाँ.
बेसिकली तो जो आप कह रहे हो, राइट, इट्स द सेम, राइट. द फर्स्ट टाइम आई द फर्स्ट टाइम आई सॉ कास्ट, ऐसे बोलना बहुत अलग है, बिकॉज आई सॉ कास्ट, you've seen caste before that as well. It's just that it was invisible for us because of
Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
norm.
I didn't notice it.
So
I saw it, but
at
I
my home,
couldn't identify it as something. Yeah.
uh, just give me a second. So at my home, and it sounds very bad, but at my home there have been different cups for different people. When I say different cups for different people, it doesn't mean there was like outrightly anyone was saying कि भाई caste अलग है तो अलग कप मिलेगा, because there were people who now I know were from lower caste, but because they were my father's colleague, they would come and they'd get it in the same cup. It was explicitly क्या कि कोई घर में काम करने लेबर या maid and all of these people will get different cup. My mother's reasoning was hygiene. In her head, she had convinced herself that it's because they are less hygienic, which sounds ridiculous now. But
Yeah.
but at the end, when you look at it, who are these? None of these people will be upper caste. All of these people are lower caste,
Yeah. Yeah.
and you are basically you without being outright casteist, you've enabled casteism. So, when we say, when I say ki, I mean, I saw, I when reservations become a question, it gets annoying because the way reservation is framed to us, to everyone, even like I mean, I have seen friends who are from the traditionally oppressed community be ashamed of the fact that reservation exists, or they might have used, or they can use it. They like it's the way the framing is done of that question also is very challenging, because we present it as if it is something that is being given as a free gift to someone,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
when it is never about that. It is about, so I again, I mean, if the question of reservation comes to me, I look at, I try to explain it from this view that there is India. Now India is 80% Hindu, 20% Muslim, just like in a very rough sketch, right? Within that
Yeah.
80%
Yeah.
Hindu
Yeah.
community there could be 20%, I don't know, I'm just saying 20% Brahmin, 20% Rajputs, 20% XYZ. The day, what our aspiration should be as people is that day when we start seeing that all of our IAS are somewhat demographically divided in similar ways. That is 20% IAS are
Yeah,
Muslim, 20% are Brahmin, 20% are,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
or even our cricket team or XYZ, everything. That is the aspiration. Will we get there? I don't know. But
That is the measure of equality, right?
exactly,
If there are, if there's 100 people and there are 50 women and 50 men, and there's a 10 player team or a 10 member committee, तो उसमें पांच मर्द होंगे, पांच औरत होंगे. That is the
exactly,
measure of equality.
because the opposite to it is, and this is what will be told to you is merit, right? कि नहीं वो meritorious नहीं, जिसने एग्जाम निकाला होगा. लेकिन द पॉइंट इज कि अगर आपके मेरिटोरियस सिस्टम जो आपने क्रिएट किया है उस सिस्टम से ऐसा हो रहा है कि 80% लोग जो जा रहे हैं इसमें वो सबके सब ब्राह्मण हैं, तो या तो आप मुझे ये बोलो कि आप ये बिलीव करते हो कि ब्राह्मण्स आर जेनेटिकली बेटर टू डू समथिंग एंड दैट इज व्हाई दे आर गेटिंग इनटू दिस मेरिटोरियस सिस्टम. इफ दैट इज द केस, and I mean, first of all, is that how can you prove that scientifically? But if you believe that is the case, then why do they stop here? Why are not Brahmins dominating the whole fucking world? So you cannot.
They are in a way. We can get into that rabbit hole some other time.
मैं दुनिया की बात कर रहा हूँ, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah. So yeah, we can extend the idea of Brahminism, not Brahmins as a caste and a lineage, but other than that, the idea of Brahminism is not uncommon outside of India.
I'm thinking you mean white privilege.
Yeah, it could be white
So
privilege
yeah,
being
so I
coming
agree.
from India.
So then you
There's always these hierarchies. There's a caste system in
then
Japan. There's
these
a caste
Brahmins.
system in South Africa. So
हाँ तो वही मैं, so then क्या will these Brahmins agree to you if you say whites are actually genetically better to do it? No. Even a lot of the white people acknowledge the fact that there are structural inequalities at place that allow white people to dominate spaces. But
yeah.
that acceptance has not happened in India, where the upper caste, the traditionally like Brahminical, to just accept that there are Brahminical structural systems in place that allow them to dominate spaces. अगर ये एक्सेप्टेंस आ जाएगी ना तो हम लोग ने पहला स्टेप ले लेंगे बेटर होने की तरफ. अभी अभी तो हम वहां पे भी नहीं पहुंचे. तो इसीलिए मेरिट, जब भी मैं मेरिट वर्ड सुनता हूँ ना मेरे को थोड़ा सा मन करता है, क्योंकि
I can understand the frustration because the obsession with merit is this is going to sound very counterproductive, but I think people are overestimating the role of what they have been conventionally defining as merit in academic spaces. अभी वो मेरिट के साथ जितना ऑब्सेशन है इंडियन कल्चर में, द वे पेरेंट्स पुश अस टू 90% के ऊपर आना ही चाहिए. मुझे 10th में एसएससी में आई यूज्ड टू डू स्पोर्ट्स, सो स्पोर्ट्स के एक्स्ट्रा मार्क्स मिलते हैं व्हिच ट्रांसलेट्स टू 4%. तो मुझे 82 आ रहा था टेक्निकली, बट देन आई गॉट 4% इसका स्पोर्ट्स की वजह से. सो आई गॉट 86. बट देन माय मॉम वाज लाइक तू यहाँ तक आ गया 4%, 90% हो जाता तो क्या हो जाता, उतना नहीं कर सकता था क्या?
this is
This
sad.
is quite funny to think about because it didn't hurt me as such. It did hurt me a little bit, but then you see how this obsession with merit and this obsession with excellence is hurting a lot of people. The way our education system is structured.
The problem is,
और ये हम लोग the people who excel, they either study abroad or they study here and they go abroad and settle there. There's a reason behind that, right?
there is
Because this system is it's
नहीं, but the like define excel. So एक चीज और मेरा जो पॉडकास्ट है उसमें भी हम लोग ने ये बात बहुत डिस्कस करी है, बट समथिंग दैट आई फील वेरी स्ट्रांगली अबाउट इज द वे आवर एजुकेशन सिस्टम इज, राइट? तो 12 साल है तुम्हारे पास स्कूलिंग में, राइट? एंड वो 12 साल में तुम्हें एक्स अमाउंट की चीजें पढ़नी है. नाउ every year, and tell me if I'm wrong, but every year during like go back to your school memories, every year for every subject at around the end of the year there was this scramble to finish the course.
Yeah,
Syllabus
yeah.
बच जाता था, right? Now what it
Mm-hmm.
means is that the courses are designed in a way that they either are not designed to be finished in 1 year, or the teachers do not have the aptitude to have you finish it in a year. Whatever it is, there is some reason. So basically what is happening is that over a period of time the cycle becomes कि course complete karna becomes the goal for the year. Now course complete karna, when it becomes the goal, what happens is, again correct me if I'm wrong, but many times in many of your class you might remember कि कोई बच्चा अगर बहुत हाथ उठा के क्वेश्चन पूछता है तो टीचर will be like कोर्स खत्म करना जल्दी जल्दी, let's go fast. It tries to stifle your ability to not just ask questions but ask outside the box, think creatively, and only focus on and exams क्या है. आई मीन एटलीस्ट मेरे स्कूलिंग के टाइम में तो देर वर मेनी सिचुएशंस जहाँ पे मैं साइंस, इंग्लिश, हिस्ट्री, कुछ भी आप बोलो मैं सोच सकता हूँ जहाँ पे एट द एंड ऑफ द डे टीचर क्वेश्चन बोलते थे, हम क्वेश्चन आंसर लोग नोट्स करते थे, वो नोट्स होते थे, वो नोट्स याद करके हम एग्जाम देते थे. तो पूरा सिस्टम बन जाता था एग्जाम देने के ऊपर, क्वेश्चन मिलेगा.
जैसे जैसे मैं आई वुड लाइक टू ऐड समथिंग. बाय द टाइम आई वाज अबाउट टू गिव माय एसएससी एग्जाम्स, ये नोट टेकिंग का कल्चर ऑलमोस्ट खत्म हो चुका था. व्हाट वी वर रिलाइंग ऑन वाज एक तो प्रिंटेड नोट्स जो हमारे सीनियर्स का लिखा हुआ वगैरह होगा,
ये तो हम इंजीनियरिंग में करते थे.
और ये 21 मोस्ट लाइकली क्वेश्चंस, और ये गाइड बुक्स एंड ऑल दोस थिंग्स, और उसमें से छोटे छोटे पॉइंट्स में 6-6 8-8 वर्ड्स का एक सेंटेंस है और 4 पॉइंट का एक आंसर है. एंड दैट्स हाउ यू राइट इट. और एंड जो मेजर 2-3 वर्ड्स है उसको अंडरलाइन करो, ये आपका हो गया 4 लाइन में आपने एक हिस्ट्री का क्वेश्चन आंसर कर दिया.
तो
हाउ डिड वर्ल्ड वॉर 2 स्टार्ट.
तो सिस्टम में आप एक्सीलेंस कैसे वैल्यू करते हो कि आपके कितने परसेंटेज मार्क्स आ गए, विच मीन्स कि मैंने जो लिखा था उसमें से मुझे कितना याद रहा बाय द टाइम एग्जाम्स हैपेंड. That is how I measure excellence, and that is how every exam system, even your pre-engineering, pre-med, whatever you think of, all of these systems measure excellence in this way, right? Now what happens is कि in the end we get into this system of binary where we want a question to get an answer. So even when we are very good, like when we get into the job market and when we become good at what we do, it's difficult to do something where there is no set pathway, right? तो
Yeah.
उस वजह से क्या होता है कि इसलिए इंडिया में अब जैसे अब इसका एक और रीजन आप देखो, इंडिया में स्टार्टअप्स अगर आप नोटिस करो, क्या बड़े स्टार्टअप्स हुए इंडिया में? फ्लिपकार्ट, योर जोमैटो, स्विगी, एनीथिंग, ओला, right? Now all of these,
I would count online payment platforms as well.
but all of these, none of these are इंडियन ओरिजिनल स्टार्टअप. फ्लिपकार्ट आया अमेजोन देख के, ओला आया उबर देख के, स्विगी जोमेटो आया यूएस में डोरडैश, ग्रब
और उसके बाद उबर भी आया ही, ऐसा नहीं कि ओला ने डोमिनेट करके उबर को नहीं दिया.
बट द थिंग
उबर
इज,
ने भी आया.
वो तो अमेजोन पे आ गया है, राइट? बट द थिंग इज कि अल्टीमेटली जो आप इंडियन स्टार्टअप्स के बारे में बोलोगे, वो भी लाइक फाइंड मी वन इंडियन स्टार्टअप which was not found in US first. You will not be able to find one, and this is the reason that even our innovation comes out of like following a line. और फिर क्या होता है कि दो चीजें होती हैं. एक तो होते हैं कि प्रोटेस्ट वगैरह होते हैं, जब इंडिया में जैसे CA/NRC वाला प्रोटेस्ट हुआ, तो फॉर एग्जाम्पल अरविंद केजरीवाल जो कि इसी सिस्टम, वो जैसा भी बंदा हो पर वो इसी सिस्टम से पैदा हुआ है. We get confused, people like Kejriwal get confused कि because there is no binary answer to it. There are no good people, bad people here. या फिर to एक और जो चीज मैं बहुत नोटिस करता हूँ, इफ यू नोटिस ऑन ट्विटर और अदर सोशल मीडिया प्लेटफॉर्म्स, लोग बहुत मजाक उड़ाते हैं किस चीज का? कन्हैया कुमार और उमर की PhD का, कि अफ्रीका में स्टडीज करके क्या कर लिया, राइट? You know why? Because it's abstract. The moment I give you an abstract idea, like we were talking about, right? How like what exactly should be the end goal of reservations, or what exactly should be the end goal of our society. That's an abstract idea, and the moment I give people an abstract idea, it's very difficult to deal with it, because there is no set pathway and there's no formula that I can use. There's no step 1, step 2, step 3, step 5. There's no 5-point bullet answer. And we are creating a system where we are, even the most educated of our people are basically very well trained in something, and they can repeat that training. Even India's IT infrastructure, Infosys kya hai? Infosys, so basically, I have an idea in America, and now I need that replicated at a mass level. I'll ask Infosys to
Yeah.
help me do it,
Yeah.
and that's our greatest startup. Now it's not a startup, but that's our greatest like IT story. India's IT is a back office of the world basically. कि जो काम मुझे replicate कराना है thousands में, वो काम मैं करवाऊंगा. और ये
दिस इज नथिंग न्यू राइट. इसके पहले कॉल सेंटर्स के साथ यही हुआ.
हाँ, कॉल सेंटर भी, कॉल सेंटर्स का ही नेक्स्ट लेवल का एवोल्यूशन है इन्फोसिस.
Yes.